Good morning. I'm WaywornWyrm, and welcome to my channel. And welcome to the Monster Manual Backward, where today we are going to focus on crabs and spiders. So with that, let's just jump right in. And we're going to start today's episode with the crab, which is a tiny beast, unaligned, armor class 11, hit points of 1d4, speed of 20 feet, and a swim speed of 20 feet. Strength of 2, dexterity of 11, constitution of 10, intelligence of 1, wisdom of 8, charisma of 2. It's skilled in stealth, which it gives a +2, has blind sight out to 30 feet, and a passive perception of 9. Speaks no language, challenge rating 0. Crabs are amphibious, which means they can breathe air and water. And the action that they have is Claw, which is a melee weapon attack +0 to hit, reach of 5 feet, 1 target, and on a hit, it does a single point of bludgeoning damage. And I really wouldn't use these. If I did, for some reason, I would use it as a swarm, but there are no swarm of crabs. So maybe we'll visit that when we get to the swarm episode, which is coming up in a few weeks. But it's a pretty terrible creature. And I think it's really weird that it does 1 bludgeoning damage. I guess crushing. I guess. I also think it's super weird that they have blind sight out to 30 feet. I don't know. This is a real head scratcher. I don't think I would put it on random encounter tables. If I ever needed the stats for a crab, it would be because the party is on a place where you'd reasonably find crabs. They ask me what's around, I mention there are crabs, and someone's like, I want to attack a crab. And I'd be like, okay, sure. Let me flip to page 320 in my monster manual for the stats on a crab. There's no reason why a level 1 character would not be able to kill a crab on 1 hit. Armor class 11, you should be hitting like 80% of the time. Especially if you have +5 in your attack stat. That's going to give you a +7, which means you're going to have to roll 4 or less, or 4 or higher. So you fail on a 1, 2, or a 3. That's a 15% failure rate. And 1 point of bludgeoning damage. That's not really ever going to... It's not going to really put any characters in danger. Although, fun thing, if crabs swarm a character that is dying, their 1 bludgeoning attack, they'll get advantage on it, and if they hit, it's going to count as 2 failed death saving throws because it's done from 5 feet away. That is the only time that I think anyone would ever have any chance of real danger from a crab, is if you're already unconscious and a crab attacks you. But we are next going to move on to the giant crab, which is much better. The giant crab is a medium beast unaligned, armor class of 15, hit points of 3d8, speed of 30 feet, and a swim speed of 30 feet. Strength of 13, dexterity of 15, constitution of 11, intelligence of 1, wisdom of 9, charisma of 3. It has +4 to stealth, blind sight out to 30 feet, and a passive perception of 9. No languages, challenge level 1/8. It is amphibious, which means it can breathe air and water. And its action is Claw, a melee weapon attack, +3 to hit, reach of 5 feet, 1 target. On a hit, it does 1d6 + 1 bludgeoning, and the target is grappled with an escape DC of 11. The crab has 2 claws, each of which can grapple only 1 target. Now, I said that the giant crab is better than the crab. It's still not great, but being better than the crab is about the lowest bar you can set. I would almost say that the crab is probably the worst creature in D&D 5th edition. Now, the giant crab, this is useful. It has a decent armor class. You're still gonna hit at level 1 more often than you're not. However, with 3d8 hit points, which averages out to 13, you are going to be not likely taking it out with a single hit. It's going to probably take 2, maybe 3. Doing 1d6 + 1 bludgeoning damage on a +3 to hit. It's going to hit somewhere between a quarter and half the time, depending on the characters you have, what armors they have, what their dexterity is. And with a 1d6 + 1 damage, that's not something that you can really just ignore outright unless you're a tank, at least at level 1. Once you get a little higher than that, it gets progressively easier to ignore. I like the grapple, and grappling rules in 5th edition are so much easier than 3.5. I'm just going to call that out. It has a low escape DC, but not every character is going to be able to escape that very well. So most characters will. It's fairly easy, but it does, depending on if you have a minus in strength, that can get you up to a decently high roll required. Now, it just grapples the target. It doesn't do extra damage or things like that. So it's not a super powerful attack. It's also only +3 to hit. So the giant crab is not awesome. However, it's a usable foe. I would put this on beach or shallow water or like ocean floor random encounter tables. Giant crabs are going to be one of the things that you are going to potentially face if you go to the sea elves or the Triton homes, which in 20 years of playing, I've never had that happen. But high sea adventures and adventures that happen near water are rare to begin with, so it could happen. That is about it. With intelligence of 1, your giant crab, it's just going to attack for food. It's probably going to keep attacking until it's dead. One of the things is the crab has 2 claws, each of which can only grapple 1 target. I wouldn't grapple more than 1 target with that to leave the other claw free to attack the character it has grappled. So, yeah. But moving on, next stop is the spider. Isn't it a cute looking spider? So the spider is a tiny beast, unaligned, armor class of 12, hit points of 1d4 minus 1, and remember, max hit points cannot be lower than 1. So, it has a 50% chance of having 1 hit point, 25% chance of having 2, 25% chance of having 3. Speed 20 feet, climb speed of 20 feet, strength of 2, dexterity of 14, constitution of 8, intelligence of 1, wisdom of 10, charisma of 2. It has a +4 to stealth, has dark vision out to 30 feet, passive perception of 10, speaks no languages, and is challenge rating 0. It has spider climb. The spider can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, without needing to make an ability check. Web sense. While in contact with a web, the spider knows the exact location of any other creature in contact with the same web. And web walker. The spider ignores movement restrictions caused by webbing. Has 1 action, which is bite, a melee weapon attack with +4 to hit, reach of 5 feet, 1 creature. On a hit, it does 1 piercing damage, and the target must succeed on a DC 9 Constitution saving throw, or take 1d4 poison damage. Now, this is how you make a challenge rating 0 creature awesome. It's going to be super easy to kill, but it's got a bunch of awesome abilities, and its bite attack, +4 to hit, is not bad. Does 1 piercing damage, and there is a low but real chance of the party member taking 1d4 poison. Again, it's not awesome, but it's not supposed to be. It's a challenge rating 0. Would I use this? Maybe. I would probably go for a swarm of spiders, which, again, we will look at in the swarm episode, which I'm really looking forward to. Or if I did, maybe a bunch of little spiders come out, like walking down a webbed hallway, and you get stuck in a web, and all of a sudden a bunch of little spiders come out. That might be fun. But the spider it's awesome, but it is also, I think, there so you can put the template to make a giant version of it, or the template for a swarm, which unfortunately they don't actually give the rules for how you take a normal creature and then add a giant template or add a swarm template. So, but yeah, that is the spider. And we're going to round out this episode coming up with the giant spider. And the last one for today is the giant spider. I do know that there is the phase spider and the giant wolf spider. We'll get to them next episode. So the giant spider is a large beast, unaligned, armor class of 14, 4d10 plus 4 hit points, speed of 30 feet, climb speed of 30 feet, strength of 14, dexterity of 16, constitution of 12, intelligence of 2, which makes it the smartest thing on today's episode, wisdom of 11, and charisma of 4, as +7 to stealth, blind sight 10 feet, dark vision 60 feet, passive perception 10, no languages, challenge rating 1. As spider climb, the spider can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, without needing to make an ability check. As web sense, while in contact with a web, the spider knows the exact location of any other creature in contact with the same web. And web walker, the spider ignores movement restrictions caused by webbing. Its actions are bite, melee weapon attack plus 5 to hit, reach of 5 feet, 1 creature. On a hit, it does 1d8 plus 3 piercing, and the target must make a DC 11 Constitution saving throw, taking 2d8 poison damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. If the poison damage reduces the target to 0 hit points, the target is stable but poisoned for 1 hour, even after regaining hit points, and is paralyzed while poisoned in this way. As a web attack, which recharges on 5 or 6 of a 1d6 roll, it's a ranged weapon attack plus 5 to hit, range of 30/60 feet, 1 creature. On a hit, the target is restrained by webbing. As an action, the restrained target can make a DC 12 strength check, bursting the webbing on a success. The webbing can also be attacked and destroyed. AC 10, hit points of 5, vulnerability to fire damage, immunity to bludgeoning, poison, and psychic damage. To snare its prey, a giant spider spins elaborate webs or shoots sticky strands of webbing from its abdomen. Giant spiders are most commonly found underground, making their layers on ceilings or in dark web-filled crevices. Such layers are often festooned with web cocoons holding past victims. And the number one place I would put spiders are in abandoned areas of dungeons. And what I probably would also do is, fairly early on in a campaign, I would make a hard fight with a couple giant spiders. And the hallmark of that fight being huge webbing all around. And then after the fight, I would bring up all of the time large strands of webbing, but no giant spiders. Just keep my players paranoid. The bite attack becomes really good. It is still a low Constitution saving throw, but you still take damage on a successful hit. And if you are brought down to 0 hit points by that bite, or by the poison of that bite, you're screwed. You don't have to make death saving throws, which is good, but you're poisoned and paralyzed for the next hour. Which, that's big. That's gonna kill most, especially low-level parties. With the stealth of 7, these are obviously ambush predators. Blind sight of 10 feet. Cool, but I'm having a difficult time trying to figure out when blind sight of 10 feet would be useful for an ambush predator like a giant spider. It's dark vision out to 60 feet. That's really useful. I get it. Yes, very much. Also, the web sense. I would have like several spiders, and each one being at a point where it can have legs on several different webs. So as the party walks by, every time they touch or destroy a part of the webbing, several spiders figure out, oh, they're right there. Now, with the 2 intelligence, they're not going to have the ambush like, they sit along on each side of a hallway, one on each wall, and they wait till the party gets in the middle. They wait till the party gets in the middle before they all swarm and trap the party in the middle of the hallway. But as the party touches webs, then they will attack. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of the Monster Manual Backward. We will be back tomorrow with the next episode of The Stolen Land. And I hope you tune in. Thank you.